Hey MMT followers, Christina Fugis with Mold Making Technology and another quick MMT chat. My guest today is Brett West, who is one of the owners and the engineering and sales manager for Trifecta Tool and Engineering in Kettering, Ohio. Now this shop has been involved with the Ohio Manufacturing Alliance in building a mold and also molding plastic parts for face shields, headbands. And he might correct me if I'm wrong. They also machined a 2-cavity mold in 8 days, and we're in full production on day 9, I think you said. And you're also currently building molds for oxygen valving components for some medical equipment.
Everybody was really excited to be a part of that and to help as much as they could. So that was a really big morale booster.
Good. All right, so let's talk about your virus-related project. So let's take them each at a time, and how did they come about?
Well, we were contacted by the University of Dayton, the Fast Lane group over there, which is a state-funded group inside the University of Dayton, and then to build the mold. And then they got, which is another entity, which is a sister entity to Fast Lane. It's called Magnet.
Okay.
They are who we molded the parts for, and they were managing the production of all the pieces and different companies around the state that were making the headbands and the face shields and the rubber band that went around your head.
Okay.
They managed all that, and then the distribution of all those pieces.
Okay. So you're making the headbands, right?
Yeah, the part that went around your head.
Yeah.
Our tool, we've met ours has been on build out, so ours has made 100,000 pieces.
Okay.
And I think around the state that they've made this whole project's made around 1 million.
Wow, that's wonderful to be a part of that. So what was the lead time for this project?
As fast as you could do it.
Yeah. So did you surprise yourself at how fast you got it done? Oh
yeah, we built the tool in 8 days.
Wow.
It was a 2-cavity tool we built in 8 days. And we were running at a 27-second cycle time. The fastest we could get it to run was 15 seconds.
Okay.
The parts wanted to stick a little bit, so we weren't trying to break any speed records. We just needed to get the parts built.
Exactly. So how does the mold complexity, how does this project compare to what you typically do? So to give us a snapshot of, the speed with which you did it, how does that compare to what you would typically do with a mold?
Oh, it's much simpler than what we normally do. Normally I think this part, if you fit it in a normal schedule, probably would have took 4 weeks.
Okay.
But we stopped everything to get this done.
So was all hands on deck?
Yes, everybody was involved in it.
Okay. Was there anything in particular about the process and your people that you learned going through this? Like a lot of shops are learning what they're actually capable of, even though it's an extraordinary circumstance, right? But they're figuring out a step in the process, a certain technology, a certain person maybe, rose to the occasion in this area that they typically don't work in. So did you learn anything about your people or your process that you're hoping to change moving forward as we get back to the new normal?
Well, it would be nice if they would all work that fast all the time.
Blame the people, Brett.
Probably not going to, but
right.
We can. We do know now that we didn't even polish this tool. We put such a fine finish on it that it didn't need polished.
Wow, there you go.
I could have ran faster cycles if I had polished it. We could have ran down at 15 seconds. We know that it'll run that fast, but it wanted to stick a little bit if you ran that fast, and we didn't want to have to go back in and work on it more, because our job was to get parts made as fast as we could, not to break cycle time records.
Yeah, exactly. Was there any holdup to achieving this in terms of your supply chain and what you needed to build those tools?
No.
Everybody came through?
Yep.
That's good. So what do you think was tested the most or stretched in terms of your process and people?
My nerves.
It had to help a little bit that this is such a meaningful I mean, I would imagine many products that you make are meaningful on some level, but this was such a meaningful project to have your whole team involved in. It has to help somewhat with, you know, your stress level or just getting it done, right?
Yeah, there were so many eyes on it, and there was, you know, when we took it up to the molder, they had newspaper people there, and it was stressful just to watch. There was cameras there watching the very first shots off the thing.
Oh, wow.
Which was
Wow, I didn't realize that. So that's a local news thing was happening?
yeah,
That's good though. That's good to shine a light on what you guys do every day.
yeah,
All right, to
yeah.
give you some
I mean,
recognition.
there's going to be a pretty big reshoring effort to bring more mold making and die making back to America and more production back here. As far as how things are done in the shop, you know, I don't think it's going to change really much because we've been using pretty advanced processes anyway over the years. I don't think we're going to actually change too much as far as the mold building goes in this shop, other than probably speed. Now that I know they can build a mold in 8 days.
Exactly. Right, exactly. Telling you, that's a big factor. That's why I think really dissecting how that was able to happen, regardless of it being a simpler job for you guys, you still, like, there's got to be little nuggets there where you can tweak something here. We used to do that all the time. Maybe we don't need to do that. And that'll help us meet, you know, exceed our customers' expectation. Because I keep thinking, you said it now. Your customers now know that you can do it. So now expectations are at a certain point. It's like, and they don't care that it was an extraordinary time, right? They know Trifecta can do it. So you got to follow through.
Well, yeah, I had that conversation when we took that mold up to be sampled on the very first day. Was, whoa, we know you can build a mold in 8 days now. We're going to expect more out of you now.
It's like, how can you turn that into a positive, you know, because that can very quickly go the wrong way if you don't
Sure.
reset expectations, right?
You can't do everything in 8 days. I mean,
No, there's no way, especially when most of you are, it sounds like it's an all hands on deck scenario because of the urgency, the importance of that particular job. Like, that doesn't happen every day.
We dropped everything to make that happen. Everybody else's project was put on hold.
Yeah.
I think as people get comfortable with doing online, I don't see a problem why it just can't stay that way. I mean, why can't it?
You won't miss the handshake and the personal, you know, connection that you can make, to me, when you're in front of somebody, sharing a drink or sharing a meal, right? Or getting a demo.
But if you use cameras like we've got, well, it's like you're right there.
It actually, think about it, during this whole crisis, people are having virtual happy hours and virtual networking events. So there is something to that, I guess. It would just be, I would miss it. I do miss being out in the world, meeting people, but we are lucky we have this as a substitute.
I know I was on a webinar the other day where it was on a Friday and they were talking about happy hour, and there was people that put beach backgrounds in there.
Yeah.
And margaritas and
yeah. You can be wherever you want to be, right? Just change your background.
Yeah, it was fun.
Point. So is there anything else you want to share about Trifecta or about the crisis we're going through, and any advice or?
Well, the only thing I really wanted to talk about, and which I've already brought this up 2 or 3 times, was the real need to bring mold making and die making back from China, because we just can't be dependent on a communist country to build things for us.
Yeah. So I want to thank you, Brett, for your time today and sharing a little bit of your story during these crazy times that we're in. So thank you again. And remember, for everything mold making, everybody out there, visit moldmakingtechnology.com. And everybody, please stay safe and stay healthy.